We are live. Hello, my name is Pedro. This is Pedro's Movie Cavern, and this is Movie Mind, where I speak to a additional person because I've done podcasts in the past where it's just me talking to myself, and it's very, very weird. So today, my first guest on Movie Mind is Timothy Porter, and I've known Tim now for nearly 15 years.
Scary,
And
isn't it?
yeah, it is really scary, mate. And I'm going to just quickly introduce Tim. Tim is a filmmaker. He is a writer. He is a editor. He is Asian movie nerd, Prince super fan, and my London counterpart. Who you're not even in London anymore, are you?
No, well, at the moment I am today. Hence the inside number 9 thing in the background. But no, I live in Nottingham now. I travel around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point of this stream is to ask 10 questions to find out why someone is a movie fan, to find out why someone is a cinephile, and to understand why people love cinema as much as me and the general cinema going public. So, Tim, are you ready for your first question?
I feel like I'm a mastermind.
Well, the original name for the thing was, well, I called it Movie Mind because it was meant to be like Mastermind. But then I thought, you're getting into the mind of a movie nerd, so we'll go with that instead. So the first question is, now I had them written down and I had them open, but my phone's decided not to stay open. Right. So the first question is, where did your love of cinema come from? Was it a specific movie, scene, or influence?
Oof. Oh, that's kind of a loaded one from the get-go. I would have to say it's me skiving from Score, probably. When I was really, really young, I don't remember this that well, but I have the assumption that it did happen by my mum. Got my fingers caught in a pram when I was younger, when I was a little kid, and they all came off and stuff. So for at least 3 or 4 months, I was off at Blockbusters every day at home. And I think there was a combination of a really crappy dog film called Bingo and Home Alone 2, which kind of kick-started everything, along with Problem Child, both 1 and 2, which I was one myself. So that's kind of what started it. Yeah. Do you remember Problem Child? Is it John Ritter in it?
Of course I remember Problem Child. I remember Problem Child 2 with the spinny round thing and everybody throwing up on it.
The puking scene that is still gross to this day. Yeah.
I found a copy of the first Problem Child in work yesterday.
Oh, fantastic! Go on, mate.
Go on. What were you saying?
No, I got like actually a couple of years ago on eBay. It was like all 3 of them. The third one is shit, by the way. But then when I opened them, the first disc was in good condition, the second disc was in good condition, but the third one was completely trashed. I was happy with that.
You didn't have to. It's like watching Home Alone 3.
Yeah. Oh no, don't even go there.
So, your earliest influence on being a cinephile is Problem Child.
Yeah, I would not be ashamed to admit that.
So what led what led on from Problem Child then?
I would say my mum gradually got me into all the Disney films, and whilst I wouldn't say I was obsessed with them, obviously things like Beauty and the Beast and Toy Story, they sort of were a bit of a catalyst for other things. Eventually Pokemon, and then somehow I think I blame WWF back in the day for this, watching Lock, Stock when I was too young, because Vinnie Jones was at Capital Carnage, and then you just spiral and I think it's with me, I've always had this need to kind of understand where references come from, or why is someone dressed a certain way, where's that song come from, and then you just keep going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how it's always been. Yeah,
it was Tarantino movies for me. Reservoir Dogs,
Kill Bill, and
Kill
then
Bill. Yeah,
for me, obviously, it would be Kill Bill a bit later in, and then nosedive into Japanese stuff. But yeah.
Interesting. I would never have put you in the Problem Child category.
I think if you know me very well, you would know, because that's who I am.
Now it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
So, question number 2. What genre or subgenre do you feel is underrated or underappreciated?
Oof. Well, the thing with horror is the easy one to do, but I think it's become so mainstreamed now that you can't ever say horror anymore. Like you've had things like Sights of the Lambs win at the Oscars, and I mean films like Terrifier, which I still have a love-hate relationship with. Them being successful is kind of cool for how brutal they are. I never thought a film like that would ever get like I wouldn't say mainstream appeal, but getting like Chris Jericho in a movie like that is a bit nuts. Um, I still think martial arts cinema though, particularly it's easy to go look back at the Jackie Chan films, the Jet Li films, all those sort of staples. But the thing that has always really boggled my mind is how we've not had more closer to home. I mean, there's always been a love for Hong Kong cinema, action cinema, the who wrote Bloodshed kind of movies, and I guess like the director of The Raid and things like that. But there is so many Chinese people in the UK and white black people that do martial arts all the time. That I'm surprised we've not had like a mini resurgence of filmmakers doing stuff in the UK. But yeah, I'd always favour action cinema because it's always the one that gets looked down upon.
I think you're right there. Definitely, especially in the UK. The UK doesn't really. I've said this for years and years and years. The UK film industry absolutely sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks. I mean, if it's not romantic comedies, it's period dramas. We don't have anything outside of that, or if we do have something outside of that, maybe a horror movie. It's always super low budget, shot on like a DV camera out in the woods because someone's uncle owns a mansion somewhere, and it's like there's no consistency in quality when it comes to horror movies. I mean, you can also say the same for British gangster films. There's a litany of like awful movies that all star the same people. I mean, if you look back like 10 years, everything was Tamer Hassan and Danny Dyer and
Craig Fairbrass.
Craig Fairbrass. But then you've got, especially when it comes to action, you have some filmmakers who are actually pushing it a little bit more out of the UK. Well, not out of the UK, pushing it more in the UK. So someone like Scott Adkins has done quite a lot for Brit action with Jesse V. Johnson, and they made a movie together called Avengement, which oddly enough does actually co-star Craig Fairbrass. And
when
Nick
he tried
Moran
to be more serious.
Yeah, and Nick Moran from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, and it's
interesting.
It's a cross between a prison movie and a fight movie and stuff like that. But it works as a British action film. And you mentioned The Raid as well. So The Raid with Gareth Evans directed that, and we were talking just quickly before this about Gangs of London and how
it sucks.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I only managed to do 3 episodes because I was a bit thrown off by the over editing or the too much shaky cam on the action sequences, which was the same problem that Evans had with Havoc. I thought that the action was just all over the place and really difficult to follow. But considering that the Raid movies have incredibly easy to follow action sequences, why wouldn't he bring that same style from the Indonesian action to the British action?
I mean, I can only put it down to maybe Sky or them choosing maybe different, I could be wrong here, different crew members or things like that. But realistically, if you hire the guy that did the Raid, particularly the Raid 2, and some of the best like choreographed action ever like on film, you would just let him do his thing. Like it's the same with hiring Jackie Chan, but then getting the guy that did The Exterminator to not let him do what he wants. It doesn't make sense. Like films like The Protector, which I can't lie, I do like The Protector in its own way, but it's not a Jackie Chan film.
It's not. It's a James Glickenhaus movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But I got no problem with James Clegg and House. He made one of my favorite 80s action movies, which is Blue Jean Cop.
Not wrong, Blue Jean Cop.
Blue Jean Cop's great. Were you talking about action as well? And I know your love of Asian cinema, and you mentioned Heroic Bloodshed as well.
My favorite film is still the one you think it is.
It is. Yeah.
It would never change.
I found my Blu-ray the other day of that. You actually wrote a review of The Killer for me.
Did I?
A couple of years when I was still doing movie reviews on the website, and it was a really, really interesting article that you wrote. But can you just talk a little bit about why you love that, like, Heroic Bloodshed sub-genre of action?
Yeah, I think it's a heightened emotion to it. It's a bit like opera. I'm not an opera lover, but I get why people watch opera. There's these kinds of things you come to expect of an opera. You know, you've got the shocking violence, and you've got just beautiful, like, mise en scene there that really captivate and elevate things to a whole other level. And I think with obviously my favorite film being The Killer, whilst Hard Boiled is fantastic in its own way, for me it will never hit the emotional relevance of The Killer. There's just something about that lone character that is just on the outskirts of society, getting fucked over by everybody that he trusts and love, and suddenly getting some form of emotions. And all of this is cliche, we've all seen this 100 times before, but the way John Woo directed it, and with all the kind of the Cantonese pop in there from Sally Yen, it's just one of those movies that will just never get old for me. I even get excited at just the idents when it comes up, like, okay, I'm ready to do this again. But we shall not talk about what John Woo has done to crimes against cinema, I would call it, with that Abomination that came out about a year ago.
Did you watch it?
I saw the trailer, and I was like, this is the exact same film. They are restaging the same thing in Paris. This is trash.
I lasted about 25 minutes before I was just like, this is...
What the
fuck is this? Like you're John Woo, and this is what you're producing.
Yeah,
but then he did, after Red Cliff, he did that... the one about the two hitmen, I think it was. Like, I can't remember what it was called now.
Isn't there one where there's like no dialogue?
Oh no, that's Silent Night. Silent Night's actually got some really good action in it, but it doesn't work with it as a completely silent movie. There's a film coming out with Alan Ritchson called Motor City something, I think it is, which is completely silent, and it's an action revenge type of thing that people are raving about at the moment. But yeah, it was... I can't remember what it was called, but it was the movie he made in Hong Kong after Red Cliff. And it was back to being like a heroic bloodsheddy type of movie. And it didn't work because the action sequences just weren't very well staged. And I mean, Woo's what, nearly 80 now?
Yeah. Definitely.
So he's going to have lost the edge when it comes to stuff like that. But then we've still got The Killer, Hard Boiled, Better Tomorrow, Bullet to the Head. Bullet in the Head. Yeah, we can look back on them and be like, well, at least we got these. Even Hard Target to a degree and Face Off.
I love Hard Target.
I love Hard. Yeah, too. True.
Unbelievable film.
But it's not just Woo, though, is it? Like,
no, it's a lot of those directors that sort of, they get hired out by Hollywood, and they might have one or two good bounce back movies, but then they just go dormant for many years. And unless you're an Ang Lee of the world and suddenly start doing high budget porno. But but I took my mum to see that Lust Caution film. That was awkward. But we forget Better Tomorrow as well. Like those movies were fantastic as well. And obviously, if you love Tarantino, his best script, True Romance. I mean, you can see some of the parallels in there. Well, I would say I have a preference of From Dusk Till Dawn, but I'm a bit biased with that because that was the first technically Tarantino Rodriguez thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
But not the TV show. I'm not a fan of the TV show.
No, I watched the first season and it just didn't really do it, especially when they
can't swear.
in the movie. you know, in the movie where Salma Hayek standing over George Clooney, and she
Yeah.
says, "Oh, you'll lick the dog shit from my heel,"
Hmm.
and then he looks up at her and he goes, "Sorry, I already had a wife," and then he fires and he hits the thing. Well, in the TV show, they took that tiny little throwaway gag line
Yep.
and made it into a subplot,
Yeah, I can imagine.
and it just did not work.
Yeah, I even just the first episode, they tried to over-explain the mythology of the vampires. I was like, you've completely ruined the mystique of the whole premise of that film. The premise when you go in to watch From Dusk Till Dawn, if you went in blind like I did when I was a little kid and shouldn't have watched it, you think it's a gangster film. And then when the
Yeah.
vampires come up, I was kind of disappointed until certain things happened with Sex Machine and other things like that. And then you're like, actually, I'm along for this ride now. These characters are kind of cool. But yeah, I wasn't a fan.
No, me neither.
It's a shame. Yeah, but how could you get that wrong when you know From Dusk Till Dawn 3 is better than the TV show? That's
God,
terrible.
the Hangman's Daughter.
Mm.
That was. Do you remember the second one, Texas
Yeah,
Bloodman?
I'm trying to
It
think. It
opens
was
with
that
Bruce
guy from
Campbell.
Terminator 2 in it.
Yeah, Robert Patrick.
Yeah,
Well, it
Robert
opens
Patrick
with
was
Bruce
in it.
Campbell and Tiffany Thyssen in the lift
Yep.
at the beginning. That was a bad movie.
It was, but I'd rather watch that than the TV show.
Yeah, exactly. But the third one, and I'll say this because of the first film. I think the first film has probably one of the most naturalistic performances by any actor ever, and that's Michael Parks as Earl McGraw right at the beginning.
It's brilliant.
It's like he's not even acting; he is actually Sheriff McGraw.
It is probably my favorite opening scene of all time.
Yeah. Him and John Hawkes.
Yeah, who's underrated actor.
Oh, John Hawkes, 100%. He's underrated. Absolutely. Right.
Just double checking. I'm pretty sure he's in Deadwood.
Well, he's dead now.
Oh, God.
Let's have a look. Where are we? Right. Question number 3. So, with the state of cinema now, where do you think film is heading? Are we going back to smaller movies, or do you think we are going to be stuck with the massively overinflated budgets that we see in the big studio films that are now flopping one after the other?
Do you know what? This is a kind of a complicated one to answer, really, because it evolves every time. Just by observing what current trends are and whatnot, I think the age of the big Hollywood blockbuster, I think, is dead. Or the age of the Hollywood actor leading a film is definitely dead. I mean, like DiCaprio's recent film with Paul Thomas Anderson, I mean, it's completely bombed. Same with Dwayne Johnson's new film, which just looks like a rip-off of The Wrestler. These kinds of movies, the ones that are kind of forefronted into the Academy selection, like that Pyrrhus film from last year as well. The fact that they even got some form of entertainment for the Academy is a disgrace. I mean, I never liked a Prophet, to be fair. That French prison film, I always thought that was overrated and unbelievable, and it's nice to actually see that filmmaker has slipped up quite badly now and is getting the hate that I had over 20 years ago when that piece of shit came out. But anyway, I digress. I think the one thing that is interesting to observe is things like Fuck My Son, which I've got a little bit of a curiosity because it's an X-rated film and the kind of John Water-esque, like trash at the screen kind of thing. I've always had a bit of a passion for films like that. Doing roadshow releases in America, I think will become the model for filmmakers that are a bit more edgy and a bit more kind of wanting to tell their vision. And I think cinemas will continue to operate with those kinds of films. I think the only kind of films really that are going to keep, in my opinion, cinemas alive are going to be tentpole releases from people like Nolan, or I don't even think Marvel at this point are going to, because I think that kind of all peaked with the final Avenger movie, and since then they've not really hit any of the numbers or the audience buzz they once had. So I think it's a good time for independent filmmakers that want to try and do something a little different. They might find an audience and might come with this new, wave of enthusiasm for film. I mean, you've got to look at, like, here in London, we've got something called the Nickel Cinema, which is like a modern day grindhouse cinema that literally shows things that Tarantino would show at his cinema, the New Beverly. So, I mean, that stuff is exciting, and I don't think cinema will ever die. But I think the model of what it once was, I think, is completely gone, particularly with the age of streaming.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Do you think, like, years ago, when you had like a movie that would come out and it was made on a sort of relatively small budget, but it was made by a studio, and you'd have like 6 or 7 of those mid-budget movies a year, as well as like the big ones, like maybe Independence Day or in the 90s, or like even in the early 2000s stuff, like the big action stuff. Do you think that the only way to make a film low budget to get a sort of recognition by a studio, or to get played on screens, on theatrical screens, is the only way to do that now is to do it independently?
I would say definitely in America, 100%. In the UK, the problem with the UK, and I've always felt this being someone that's tried to make film, is that I think in America, people will take risks. They'll go, "I'll work on that for free." Like there was a time in, the UK that for a small period of time, people like Ray Winston and people like that will willingly do a film for free because they like a script. I think now it's just too difficult in the UK to get those kind of things off the ground unless you have, I don't know, some form of built-in fan base as an actor. And then you have maybe a relationship with another crew member, and that allows that to sort of jump off. But I think if you look at the kind of things that Indiegogo fund in America, there are more track records of them being more successful in America than in the UK. And so these mid-budget films, I think if we had a system like America where everybody seemed to sort of want to collaborate and like, okay, yeah, I'll do this one for free, and then on this one I'll work my rate or whatever, I think the industry in the UK would suddenly turn back round, because people forget the UK used to have a whole functioning film studio network like Hollywood does.
Yeah.
We had the Ealing Studios, we had all those other things, the stuff like the Carry On Films or the Rank organization, all these kinds of companies. So I don't think necessarily that can't ever happen again, but the problem is the majority of these companies are now under one big umbrella by one big company. So it's a lot harder to get them things off the ground. So who knows? I mean, I miss the days of those mid-budget kind of
Me too.
movies. That's where the creativity came, compared to some of the bigger movies, so to speak.
But that's the whole case of studio system being run by people who have no creative like bone in their body.
It's true.
And so you
It's
make
like
a
South
movie.
Park said.
Yeah, it's like making a movie and then being told that, oh, you need to remove this, you need to remove this, you need to add this, and you need to add this, and then when the film is released, it bombs completely because the vision that was originally put on film or on digital or whatever is no longer the same product.
Yeah. I think this is one of the reasons why there's been some form of, I'd say, viewer backlash towards a lot of the films that are pushed as the forefront of what we should accept or like. I mean, I've always found it weird when you go through the BFI sort of guidelines of what they will fund, and they will say, like, if you have a villain that has a scar on its face, we can't do that because that's ableist. And you sit back and you think, but how many famous villains have we had through time that have had that and nobody complained? I mean, we're putting all of these weird, like, umbrellas over things you can or cannot do. And how is that different to what, when we grew up and we loved, horror films that, maybe the mainstream didn't like in the 80s, that, we're having this kind of like evangelical kind of censorship from people that saying they're liberal. It's very strange. I don't want to get too political with it, but it's bizarre that people that say that they're all for free speech and they want creativity to go a certain way, but when you're telling them to mold an idea into one specific vision, it's no longer something that can naturally blossom. It's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. I think with the British film industry, like obviously we are a small island compared to
Yeah.
the vast majority of the rest of Europe and obviously the States and stuff.
Yeah.
So our film industry is always going to be lacking.
Mm.
But then
But look at Japan.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
then
small little island.
Japan has the most densely populated city on earth.
Yeah.
With Tokyo.
Yeah.
But with like British cinema, specifically British cinema, if you look 50 years back, 50, 60 years back, and you were saying about how we had an actual film industry of studio system.
Amicus,
Hammer, like you said, the Rank organization. We were putting out, like the UK put out some of the greatest, yes.
Handmade films.
Handmade films was George Harrison, I think.
Yep. I actually have that on my leg, the logo. I love handmade
Have
films.
you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So many awesome films, that label. And Mona Lisa's also in my top 10 too, so that's another reason.
Yeah. I think the only actual maybe British-based production company now that actually does anything of merit is probably someone like Working Title, but even now I think those are owned by an American company.
Yeah, it's Universal, isn't it?
Yeah.
From what I remember, yeah.
Well, yeah, they would be actually thinking about it. Because obviously, like they did like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, and those are released via.
And now obviously Bridget Jones is full Fentry and all the rest of it.
Fuck Bridget Jones.
That's the first time I ever saw that logo, because my mum always used to watch those kinds of things. But yeah, it's a terrible.
I don't think the UK will ever get back into a system where we can make decent films, if you know what I mean. That's not to say that every British film that is made is shit. I'm just saying that there is a lot of crap.
Well, let's look at the ones that seem to get the viral marketability. And I don't want to attack these filmmakers because they've already been attacked enough. But when you look at the people that did the Winnie the Pooh films, I mean, they're not for me. They're not for me at all. I can't lie. I mean, I would have loved to, like, there is a concept in there of a cool kind of maybe body horror Winnie the Pooh or something. I don't know. But the ones that have come out that I have seen maybe 10 or 20 minutes of, they're just not for me. They're just really badly made and poor scripts, poor acting. And the worst thing is, I know people that have worked on them and they talk about how shit the productions are. And so when you see how they've now built like this whole like cineverse of just taking public domain things, there's no creativity to that, because that's kind of what they did in the exploitation days of Grindhouse. But the difference was they were pornographers doing it, so it's actually more interesting because they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. But with now, it just feels like we just do that. This is just a portfolio piece for us, and we'll move on to the next one. But then you look at what the next one is, and it's the same shit. Like there's no progression, like the Peter Pan film and the Bambi film and all that. Although that there is an Ugly Sister film, Ugly Stepsister film that I've heard is pretty good, which is not from the UK, which is meant to be actually worth a watch.
I think Arrow's releasing that. I think I saw something,
which I am interested in watching that one.
With like the Winnie the Pooh movie, Blood and Honey, and the sequel, it was never of any interest to me whatsoever. But because of the copyright ending on those and going into public domain and stuff, you see more like. So we've got the Winnie the Pooh movies. There's that Peter Pan one, like you said. But then you've also got things like there's one which is a Popeye one.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them now.
Dreamboat, I think it's called. No, that might be the Mickey Mouse one.
That's the Mickey Mouse one, which it looks a bit like Gremlins, but he's like this small. I mean, I might watch that one just because it's the guy from Terrifier, and it does look kind of funny, but it's going to be shit. You know, it's going to be shit.
But that's the thing. Not even Terrifier was of. I watched the first Terrifier, and it did nothing for me. Did you watch The Substance?
Yeah, I did. I did see The Substance. I watched that around the time it came out, actually, but I watched it from home. I actually want to talk to you about that because I think we had a private conversation about it
Yeah.
a long time ago. But
So
I don't.
what were your thoughts on The Substance? Because I know what my thoughts were.
I've seen it all before, so that's not a problem. But I liked everything up until a point. When it got to the point of there's like a scene where this person metamorphoses and is standing on a stage, and the tonal shifts were just too jarring. Like the bits with Demi Moore in it were interesting, and I liked all that stuff. Did not like the supporting actress. I have nothing against her; she's a very pretty woman, but I just I didn't like her acting. I know it sounds really wanky and pretentious, but it just when you've got Demi Moore giving like a career-defining performance, and then you get that kind of like as the backup for the character that's meant to be the same person, yeah, I just didn't like it. And yeah, it was just there was so many like conveniences, and it was too long, way too long for that kind of movie. But I didn't like the director's previous film, Revenge, either. So
I'm very well aware of that because I didn't
yeah,
either.
no. When characters can fall off cliffs, have penetration in their stomach with an object going through them, but there's no problem there whatsoever. They can just keep going like a zombie. That's fine.
The biggest issue I had with that movie was the phoenix burnt onto her stomach as a phoenix rising from the flames, which was far too on the nose. The only good thing I can say about The Substance,
the message is more important than the film.
the only good thing I can say about The Substance is, holy shit, Demi Moore looks fantastic for 60.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's it. I hated The Substance. So my issue with The Substance is that it got all these accolades and it got Oscar nominations and stuff for doing the exact same thing that David Cronenberg did 30, 40 years ago.
Agreed, yeah. But you know the difference, right? Because a woman directed it.
Fucking a woman directed
irrelevant.
Slumber Party Massacre. Doesn't
I
mean
know. Well, I love Slumber Party Massacre.
I do as well. It is a fun movie.
It's a nice little film.
But The Substance for me, it was too much. Well, too little, too late, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that it doesn't need to be over 2010?
Yeah,
or something like that. It's way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long.
But then last year, a lot of the movies I saw released from last year, I thought were crap. Like I watched Anora and I thought it was fucking awful.
Yeah, I've been putting off watching that. I've not been a fan of any of his films, to be fair.
No, me neither. I watched Anora simply for the fact that Mikey Madison was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I hadn't seen her in anything else, and they were talking about how amazing her performance was and everything. And then I watched the movie.
It's in Scream 5 as well.
I watched the movie, and for me, I watched it, and the only thing I could think of while watching it was late night Friday night Channel 5 softcore porn.
I was going to say that. I mean, I haven't seen it, but that's the vibe I got.
That is the vibe of it. It's not a best film winning Oscar movie.
But again, the message is more important.
Fuck the message.
That's the problem. That's what these people like.
2015, Mad Max Fury Road got 8 Oscars.
Yeah.
Well, 6 Oscars, 8 nominations. And then Anora wins Best Film and Best Actress. Fucking absolute bullshit.
Because this is the politicalization of those kinds of award ceremonies now, where, you know, when you look back at this is why I love going back into watching even films from the early 2000s. There's a huge difference when you just observe them as that kind of historic texts now, more so than when they were made, because you can see that there is this kind of freedom in the way the stories are written, and that they don't have a problem with, say, a strong female character being at the forefront, but she still is a woman. There's a key difference. Whereas now they'll put a woman in the lead, but get her to act like a man, but then want the sensibilities of a feminist. And it doesn't. These are odds with what a lot of modern people want. You know, I mean, I could be wrong there, but I mean, you only have to look at, you know, modern television to see that.
I think studios and filmmakers trying to push, like, I don't want to get into gender politics and all that crap, because this is the thing all about films. But
trust me to put this in there.
No, because it brings up something very, very good. that I wanted to talk quickly about. You can make a film and have a strong female character that isn't pushing an agenda or being in your face. Like I mean, we grew up on like Alien and fucking Terminator 2.
Or even Starship Troopers.
Even Starship Troopers.
Yeah, strong women in that.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
Paul Verhoeven movie.
Yeah,
that's like saying Nomi Malone in fucking.
Yeah, she's awesome. Don't diss Nomi. I won't have that.
I watched the other day. I watched You're Next.
Oh yeah,
which I really enjoy as a home invasion movie, and the main character in that, played by Shani Vincent, is incredibly badass. But they never make it a sort of in your face. Oh, she's a strong female character. Same with like I said, like Ripley, or with
or Better Watch Out. You might not like Better Watch Out. It was a horror film a few years ago.
Watch Out.
Yeah,
is it when the babysitter?
Yeah, babysitter.
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah,
there's no politics in that. That's a fun. Film.
No, but I think
Dana Meyer. That's what I was thinking of in Starship Troopers as Dizzy. She was strong.
Well, she wasn't that strong. She was fucking killed.
Yeah, but she didn't die and plead for a man to save her or anything. She just died like a soldier would. And plus, she's hot, man. Don't be dissing Dana. No.
You will never see me dissing Dana Meyer. Never. Right, let's have a quick look at some comments. We have Ollie. Ollie is a really cool guy. He does a stream on a Monday night, which I am on pretty much every single week.
Nice.
He has said, "Hey Pete, great to see you as the host of a stream. Currently watching True Crime with Clint. Decent thriller. Yes, it is actually a very decent thriller. Anything with Clint Eastwood."
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's great.
And then we have a lot of comments from my other friend Jim, who is from America. Jim is also always on Ollie's stream with me on a Monday night. He has said, "Hello, Pete and Tim. I hope everything is well with you and everyone in the chat. It's just you, Jim."
Can someone play Misty for me?
Pretty soon, all of the entertainment companies are going to be owned by 3 corporations: Apple, Amazon, and Netflix,
and Disney.
And Disney.
Disney. Because Warner Brothers are up for sale now as well, so that's definitely going to go for Disney, I think.
Someone tried, I think it was Paramount, tried to buy Warner Brothers. But that doesn't make
an
any
interesting
sense.
acquisition, but I don't think it would work. Those two companies are complete opps. So.
Paramount ended up getting bought by Skydance.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad, Pete. Crap is universal. It's not simply a British thing. Popeye the Slayer Man was the one I was thinking of. And then Jim also said, I like the substance, but the scariest thing in that movie was Dennis Quaid eating those fucking shrimp.
That was the best bit of the film, Dennis Quaid.
Yes. Crash won Best Picture in 2006, and that is a huge travesty, in my opinion. How was Grandma's Boy not even nominated?
Grandma's Boy is...
I fucking love Grandma's Boy. Absolutely adore it.
Can we have more films like Grandma's Boy, please?
I would gladly take a sequel to Grandma's Boy. And then Jim also said, "I'm always talking to myself." And then we have a comment from Stacy, who is Acres of Movies. "Hello and thanks. What's your favorite thriller about computers?" I'll warn you, Stacy asks some very weird questions.
I like Antitrust.
The Ryan Philippe film. Oh my god, I haven't seen that fucking year.
Yeah, just because Tim Robbins in it, and he's a very underrated actor, and he's very creepy in that film. I can't lie.
Cool. So we will. Oh, my favorite is War Games, by the way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can totally see.
Let's move on. Question number 4, and I think you'll like this one. Which filmmaker do you think is overrated, and which filmmaker do you think is slept on?
Oh fuck, that's hard. I need to think about this actually. I know you love Tarantino, and I have a love-hate relationship with Tarantino, so I won't piss on his parade on this stream.
I've got a very odd take on Tarantino.
Yeah. Whilst I think about this, tell me about your take
So
on
I you know my love of Tarantino. We've done
Yeah.
podcasts on him. I've done fucking videos on him and stuff. However, my take on Tarantino is that he directs his scripts well,
Mm.
but if he was to direct someone else's script, he is a very mediocre filmmaker when it comes to vision.
I could see that.
I think that's because of obviously a lack of film school and stuff. But if he's making his movies, like I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his best film.
See, I would say Jackie Brown's his best film.
Like Jackie Brown's his most mature film.
Yeah, but is it
But
really his script, Jackie Brown? Because it's a source of a novel, isn't it? So
so
I
he
would love to
adapted
know.
Rum Punch, which is the
Yeah.
novel by Elmore Leonard, and he actually made the novel better by fleshing out some of the characters. Like Ordell Robbie, the character Sam Jackson plays in it, he's quite fleshed out, but he's not as fleshed out as much as Tarantino fleshed him out in the script for Jackie Brown. But I know that you're a Pam Grier fan as well, so I know.
Pam Grier.
So I'm not shocked that it's your favorite. Like the reason I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is because I'm obsessed with classic Hollywood and the studio systems and stuff like that. But like I said, if he was directing someone else's script, I don't think his films would be the same. I don't think his vision would be the same. It's like
I think he needs it, to be honest, at this point, because his films are stale for me anyway.
I mean, the last film he did was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that was 2019. Yeah. So it's been 6 years since the last movie.
And the critic idea that he was going to do sounded great, and then he shelved it. So,
a film about a film critic, I don't think would be of much interest.
Yeah,
I would like to see him do.
And we're never
go back and do
free.
Another crime movie.
Yeah, that would be good. Just don't rip off City on Fire again.
No. Oh, you only ripped off the ending of City on Fire.
Yeah, I know, but still.
And I either go back and do a crime movie, or and cap off his 10th movie as another Western.
Yeah. Okay,
so
I think I've got for overrated.
Okay,
this is one which it pains me to say this, because I think he went on a run. Those first 3 films, you got Kronos, The Devil's Backbone, Pan's Labyrinth. That is a run that, you know, loads of people would have wanted in their back catalogs. But I've got to say, Guillermo del Toro is one of the most overrated filmmakers currently operating. Just purely because when you see the potential of those 3 films that I've just mentioned, and you see The Shape of Water, and something like Crimson Peak, these high budget, just they don't meet the potential of what Pan's Labyrinth set for me. And even the stuff he's done with Netflix, it's just it's touching the surface of the stuff that, you know, he's obsessed with, like the idea of, like, you know, humans being monsters, and there's something fantastical in the supernatural and all the rest of it. But I just don't think he's ever met that potential that he's set in those 3 films. And even Frankenstein, I look at the trailer, I'm like, so much fucking CGI in this. Like, why is everybody hyping this up as something special? I mean, I'm not a fan of the guy who did The Witch either. I think his films are very.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean, I did like elements of The Witch, but that film he did afterwards with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, who is, I would argue, is one of the best actors of all time, Willem Dafoe. It was trash. The Lighthouse, or whatever it was called. And not the Frankenstein, was the other one he did, the Nosferatu.
I haven't seen it. I've got a copy of The Witch on my shelf, which I picked up a couple of weeks ago. Which I haven't seen any Robert Eggers movies.
Yeah, well, you're not missing
everybody
much.
just hypes them up and hypes and hypes and hypes, like Nosferatu, and like I owned The Northman on 4K for about a year, and I never got around to watching it, so I just sold it.
Yeah, and do you know what's funny with that film? Everybody like that doesn't like him said that was his best film, but he came out and said he hated it because the studio interfered. So that kind of just shows you everything you need to know. Really.
There you go. But I don't know. There's certain films of Del Toro that I really love, and there's films that he's made that I find really dull. Like I love Pan's Labyrinth.
Same.
I found The Devil's Backbone quite boring.
I can get that.
I love Pacific Rim. I fucking absolutely
Yeah,
adore.
nothing wrong with Pacific Rim. Like he can do films like that
Yeah.
all day long, and I'd be happy. It's
I
these
really like.
pretentious costume drama things that he does. That
I
I have no
really
time
like
for.
The Shape of Water, but I don't think it should have won Best Film.
See, I hate The Shape of Water because it's everything that he's become. It's annoying because I can see why someone would like it because there is some beautiful visuals and it is kind of like a modern like kind of creature from the Black Lagoon kind of thing going on, but I never want to see an animal fuck a woman. Like I can't lie, it's just not for
Not an
me.
animal, it's a fish, man.
A fish or whatever, it's still an animal to me. I just don't want to see it. It's not for me. Like it's like watching Possession, and you only watch it for the weird scene where Isabella Johnny's getting fucked by some black-looking creature. Like, what the fuck is it? But no, nothing wrong with it. Michael Shannon's the best thing in that film by a country mile.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I just don't.
I actually
It's
really
like,
like Sally Hawkins is great in that.
yeah,
But
she's
Sally Hawkins is great in
fantastic.
everything, though.
Yeah, she even that annoying Mike Lee film she did called Happy Go Lucky. She's great in it, but that
Oh,
character's
yeah.
horrendous. I can't stand that character. Killer. But have like Rambo come in from screen 6 and just shoot everybody in that film, and it'd be a lot better. But yeah, go on.
What about the like Blade 2 and Hellboy 1 and 2?
Hellboy, no problem. I want a third Hellboy. It's never coming.
It's never coming.
It's never coming. But Hellboy, like, again, Blade 2, never liked it. I can't lie. I just I don't know. Like when you watch Blade, it's the quintessential 90s action movie. There's no it's a black man's a vampire. No one gives a shit about that. It's fucking Wesley Snipes killing vampires in one of the best opening scenes of all time. What the fuck more do you want? You know, you got that pumping soundtrack, blood going off everywhere, crazy martial arts. I love all that shit. The second one just gets really pretentious. Like there's no need for it to get so convoluted with mythology or anything like that. It's got a couple of decent action scenes in it, but when you think Totoro's involved, I expect something much more visceral and much more disturbing. And it just did nothing for me. Even the
Like,
third
I
one's
love
not
Blade
great,
2.
but I'd rather watch the third one than the second one because Triple H is in it.
Third one's fucking awful.
It is awful, but I'd rather watch a bad, awful film than a pretentious, very artistic version of what should just be a fun nuts and bolts popcorn movie. But that's just me.
So Del Toro is overrated. Okay, so underrated.
This is probably going to be a bit pretentious, but I love Lee Chang-dong's films. He's someone that not a lot of people really discuss. I mean, I'd say he's not like a visionary in terms of directing, but yeah, I think Peppermint Candy is a huge emotional gut punch if you ever get around to watching that. Oasis is another one which, you know, it starts off and you think I'm not going to like this film at all because it's got like a mentally handcuffed guy like sexually abusing a cerebral palsy woman. But by the end of that movie, it becomes like one of the most romantic films you'll ever watch. But to take stuff like that and do something that interesting and like kind of fairy tale-esque is fantastic. Didn't really like Burning. And that maybe because it's like the one that most people have watched because it's got that famous American actor in it. I'm trying to think what his name is. What is his name?
The one from The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Stephen Yeun.
Yeah, I didn't like The Burning. It's just not for me. But his earlier films, I think, you know, they should, particularly Peppermint Candy. If you ever get the chance to watch that, that is a devastating film. Really good film.
Lee Chang-dong. Yeah. Question number 5. Right. So, as someone who has made short films in the past,
Which recently got taken down by YouTube for child protection laws.
Which was a film
the next day.
Yeah. Which was a film about bringing awareness.
It's a film about nonce, but it was done in a way where, you know, it's clear there clearly was intent behind it. It wasn't like we were shooting a
It wasn't. It was like I remember when you filmed it, and I remember doing the poster.
Yeah, the poster's still fantastic. Oh.
So this one is from a creative point of view. So putting on your filmmaker hat now, What films do you think have been overlooked for cinematography, music, performance, direction, etc., that deserve reappraisal? So films that you feel look amazing or sound amazing, have incredible soundtracks or scores or stuff and performances that kind of got overlooked. What do you feel people need to kind of reappraise?
I mean, that's tough, man. That's a really tough question. I've got to think of this one. What I will say is I'm not a fan of Ty West films completely. I think his films are very hit and miss, but
Same.
when he is good, he's fantastic. So I know people will immediately go to the X trilogy. I think I'm not that hot on those movies. They're okay, but I'm much more of Innkeepers and The Sacrament, and I think those two films in particular, particularly Innkeepers, that film is slept on. Like I remember seeing that at Fright Fest and just I had no knowledge of what the film was going to be at all. I'm expected to be this like generic ghost story, and it was just a really interesting, like observational, like semi-romantic comedy thing. But then it became kind of sinister toward the end, and I actually think that was a fantastic film. And I think if you do get into Ty West, don't watch. Well, actually, Cabin Fever 2 was fun, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was a Ty West film.
Yeah, Cabin Fever 2 was. Wasn't he like removed, or did he take
Yeah,
over
he
halfway
did the
through?
what's the Alan Smithy thing.
Yeah, because of the
But then again, I
interference.
hate The House of the Devil. Great soundtrack.
Mm.
But probably
So
not
for
gonna
me,
hype.
Ty West, like, there's only one Ty West film that I actually like, and it's probably his most mainstream movie, which is In the Valley of Violence with Ethan Hawke and John Travolta. It's a Western,
I've never even
revenge
seen
type of
this. This
movie.
is news to me.
It's
Okay.
I really like it. It's very much a film that you wouldn't expect from someone like Ty West, who is known
Yeah.
as a horror director. This is like a straight up Western. It's the most accessible movie for Ty West. Like, I didn't like The Innkeepers. I didn't like Sacrament. I watched half of X. I didn't even bother with Maxine or or was it not May? What's it called?
Pell.
Pearl.
Yeah.
That's the one. I didn't even bother with that because I just can't. I can't gel with his stuff. And
Yeah,
I was so
he's
glad
very I get what you
that
mean.
he got an arrow through his head in You're Next at the start. So that was very fun. But yeah. So yeah, carry on. What were you saying?
I'm trying to remember.
So
I'm
the
just trying
question,
to.
the question was, what do you feel? What film do you feel is, or what films do you feel need to be reappraised for from a creative point of view? So film directing and performances, cinematography, music, etc.
I'm always going to bring Asian ones up. So I kind of
Yeah.
I want you to bring something balanced before I go back into this because we can't just have me running off the mouth about Asian cinema all the time.
So do you want to know what I think?
Yeah, and then I'll try and neutralize in the middle.
There's a few films that I think are kind of overlooked for certain things. One of them is, believe it or not, is Harry Brown.
Oh, I hate Harry Brown.
I know you hate Harry Brown. I know you hate Harry Brown. And I'm not talking about Ben Drew's performance as a
Oh
hood
no,
in a
nothing to do
tunnel.
with Ben Drew. I just don't like the script at all.
I think Michael Caine's performance in that is probably the last great Michael Caine performance.
Yeah, I will give you that. Definitely.
That's performances. So, like, I think another film that is really, really overlooked and doesn't get the props that it deserves, and you're going to agree with me on this, is going to be Mona Lisa. And there's another Michael Caine film.
I love
But
Michael
it's not
Caine.
Michael Caine's performance that is getting overlooked. It's Bob
No,
Hoskins.
it's Bob Hoskins. I mean, anything with Bob Hoskins, I'm a bit impartial to be honest. But that particular movie, I mean, I've got like 3 or 4 versions of that now, just because
Yeah.
it's so fantastic. That is a movie I would agree with you is just kind of thrown away as just like just a Saturday night kind of
Do
gangster
you
flick.
think it's overlooked because of
Long Good Friday.
yes, yeah.
I actually think it's better than a Long Good Friday. Now that
I
is
do too.
I know it's controversial to say because it is more enjoyable the Long Good Friday, but the story and the layers of it of Mona Lisa is 100 times better because you've got like a character that he's an anti-hero in a way, in modern standards, they would call him a villain because of some of his views. But the person he falls in love with is a nonce. And you sit and you think about it and you think, well, actually, he's been manipulated through this entire movie. And when you reassess everything, it actually makes it even more tragic, given the fact that he's come out of prison and he's no one. He doesn't even know who the fuck he is anymore by the end of that movie. However, they should have cut Robbie Coltrane out of the film because every time he turns up, it kills the tone.
It does. It does. When he meets him,
like the first scene is okay.
The boat scene where he first meets him and he's got the caravan and everything.
Yeah,
I was just like, I like Robbie Coltrane, but
same, nothing wrong with Robbie Coltrane.
It does kind of drop the tone a little bit. There's a film that Bob Hoskins made with Mickey Rourke as well, called A Prayer for the Dying, which was about an IRA gunman. And every time Mickey Rourke was on screen, it brought the tone down, and he's the main star.
Fucking hell. Well, Mickey Rourke, dependent on what year he's in.
I like Mickey Rourke. I like old school Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
The Year of the Dragon Mickey Rourke is fantastic. Angel Heart Mickey Rourke. 9.5 weeks Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, I actually like 9.5 weeks. I know it's one of them. I know a lot of people shit on it as one of those Skinamax kind of movies, but I actually quite enjoy that film. It's a guilty pleasure.
It's because of the guy who wrote it. The guy who wrote it was the guy who created the Red Shoe Diaries, which was that softcore TV show from the early 90s that starred David Duchovny before the X-Files.
I might have seen that by mistake.
It would have been on very late
Channel
in the
5
UK.
or Bravo or something like that.
It was 100%. It would have been Bravo.
But Granada Men and Motors. I used to love Granada Men and Motors.
I used to love Granada Men and Motors.
Old things of flipping, yeah. Jethro and all that stuff.
Jethro, yeah.
Rumblefish as well.
Yes.
Again, another movie that I'm not a massive fan of, but he's great in it. Anything with Dennis Hopper in there as well is fantastic.
So come on, I need your thing. I've talked about my what
I'm just going to say Takeshi Kitano. I will always.
He's not overrated though, is he?
Well, yeah.
Well,
he's
not underrated.
But he's underseen. I think some people would only see him as an actor, but some of his like lesser known films, not the ones like Kikijiro, things like that. I'm talking more like Violent Cop. There's only a niche amount of people that see Violent Cop. I love Violent Cop. The structure of that movie, the opening, everything about that movie. You know, I would love for there to be like some form of late career like resurgence. I mean, I know they've just recently pushed out his new samurai movie, which I am curious of seeing, but I'm a bit put off by it as well. Just because the later a filmmaker gets, there's a tendency for them to become shit. And I do agree with Tarantino on that. That the older you get, the worse. But then Abel Ferrara films, I think, are often overlooked as well. I mean, he's got some absolute bangers in his collection.
He does, but he also has some absolute trash.
Yes. So let's go through the bangers, and then we'll see what we think. Miss 45, fantastic. The one with Christopher Walken called The Funeral is underrated.
The Funeral. He did The Addiction as well with Walken and Lily Taylor, which is
China Doll for me is his best film.
I've not seen China Doll.
Yeah,
what was the other one he did? Fear City and
Fear City is it's okay. It's not terrible, but you know.
And let's go through the shit. Driller Killer. Fucking awful movie.
New Rose Hotel.
New Rose Hotel. I'm probably one of the only people that absolutely despises Bad Lieutenant.
I love Bad Lieutenant.
I think it's
just for Harvey Keitel.
I hate it. But then I'm probably one of the only people who loves Body Snatchers.
Body Snatchers is great. Nothing wrong with Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
Welcome to New York was good. King of New York, obviously, is
King of New York's great.
Go Tales should be re-reviewed. I think there's the cast he got in that film is unbelievable, but the script could have been better.
Yeah.
But Dangerous Game is good. I rewatched that recently, and I'm not a fan of Madonna at all. But she did actually give a good performance in that because I don't think it's acting. I think it's all improvised, and you can kind of get that vibe from it when you watch it. Cat Chaser was good.
Von Trier era.
Oh no! Well, I like Von Trier, but he's very hit and miss.
I hate Lars von Trier. I remember when me and you had that debate. years ago when Antichrist came out.
Yeah, I don't think I enjoyed Antichrist. I
No,
think I like
you,
I like the violence of it, but the film is incredibly pretentious beyond
it's also
recognition.
massively depressing.
Yeah, of course, but then I like not Necromantic, Nymphomania, the
Yeah,
uncut
you
version.
did.
The uncut version is fantastic. The actual censored version is not very good. But
So-
the one
so
performance in
any
that that's terrible is our guy from Transformers,
Shia.
Shia LaBeouf, doing a really dodgy British accent, which is horrendous. We
So,
never forget
are
it.
there any Kitano films that you think need to be reappraised for cinematography or music or performances?
Well, any of the movies where he had Joe Hiyashi, the guy who did all of the music for Studio Ghibli, all those movies with the soundtracks are fantastic. But in terms of like, I'd say cinematography, I'm not even going to look at the stuff like from Fireworks or anything like that. I'm talking about the ones that haven't even come out in the UK. Films like Achilles and the Tortoise, people have never even seen that in the UK, and it is actually a generally interesting movie. I just think he went on a bit of a spiral with he did these two weird back-to-back films, Takeshi's, which is trash, and Glory to the Filmmaker, which is half a funny film and half pretentious piece of trash. But yeah, I think a lot of the more films that no one talks about, like Brother. I think Brother's beautiful. Like I know
I
it
was
was
going to
one
ask
of
you
those.
about Brother because that's getting a re-release.
Yeah, I know that it's one of those weird movies where you get Channel 4 doing a Kitano movie, but it actually is a fantastic. Like it's a bit like Rush Hour, where Rush Hour gives you all the best bits of Jackie Chan movies, but then has to somewhat neutralize it in a Western way, and it still kind of works. And Brother's that, and
See, when
I
I
love
think back on Brother now, it kind of gives me the same sort of like East meets West vibe as Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai.
Yeah, or
That
Drive.
has that sort of
Not the pretentious bloke. Yeah, I'm talking about that sci-fi martial arts flick.
yeah. Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai, I think, with Forrest Whitaker, I think has
it's a great film.
that same sort of East meets West vibe that Brother has, but Brother obviously being more a Yakuza movie.
Yeah, it's
And
got
a
some
gang
great gore
movie.
scenes.
Yeah.
Great gore scenes in that film.
But yeah, that's cool. That's really what I was trying to find out.
I was trying to figure out, but I'll always put Katana above everyone else because seeing stuff like Violent Cop and even stuff like A Scene at the Sea, which no one ever talks about because it's got no violence in or anything. But that film is almost virtually silent because both characters, one's deaf and the other one can't talk. So it's almost like watching like a modern day Charlie Chaplin film, but without Charlie Chaplin's quirks.
Yeah.
Good old Charlie Chaplin.
Cool. So, we'll jump into some more comments a sec. Where do we get to? Fucking hell, there's quite a lot of comments.
Oh fuck.
Stacy has hello and thanks. What's your favorite thriller about computers? We did that one. Tim Robbins, good villain. Tim Robbins is a great villain in a movie called Arlington Road.
Yes.
With Jeff Bridges. Jim said Antitrust. Holy shit! I haven't thought of that movie for years. Well played.
I'm that old. I saw it in the cinema.
And then Jim says, "Take of the day, Pete. Overrated. Stanley Kubrick.
Yes, I agree with that.
Don't get me wrong. He's great, but people act like every one of his movies is phenomenal, and they certainly are not. I
Shining is
absolutely
not
agree
great.
with that.
The Shining is not great.
I might as well just end the stream now because we're not friends anymore.
The Shining is the best comedy of all time. It is
The
not
Shining.
horrible.
The Shining was the first horror film that ever scared the shit out of me. But I think I prefer more like the parodies of The Shining now, like the Simpsons parody and stuff, because I think it does take itself a little bit too serious. But
he's terrible in it, Jack Nicholson. I love Jack Nicholson, but he's awful in that film.
2001: A Space Odyssey, I think, is an incredible movie.
Yeah, it's a great film. Clockwork Orange for me would always be the best.
Clockwork Orange, yeah. And then I really like Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah,
when I rewatched that, when I rewatched that, it's a movie again. It's like I talked about on a podcast that I did a few months back, which was just me talking to myself. I was talking about Death Proof and how Death Proof is a movie of it's not got a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's got a beginning and an end.
Yeah,
it's a movie of two halves,
it's
and
reset.
I think it's the same with Full Metal Jacket. You have a beginning and you have an end. You don't have a middle bit. So it goes from boot camp to Vietnam, but Vietnam is actually some docks in London.
Battersea Power Station.
Battersea Power, that's the one, yeah. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Underrated, you know my answer, Peter Hyams. Yes, I do know that, Jim. He's an incredibly underrated director and cinematographer as well. He is indeed. Weirdly, Peter Hyams' son, John Hyams, did the original documentary, The Smashing Machine, which was what the Dwayne Johnson movie is based on.
Yeah, I bet the documentary is better than the actual film.
Yeah. Stacey says underrated Dominic Senna, overrated Greta Gerwig.
I can't stand Greta Gerwig. I can't.
Nah, I fucking hated Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie, and what's the other one? That Francis Ha stuff.
That was Noah Baumbach directed that, but she directed the one with Saoirse Ronan, Ladybug.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, nah.
Saoirse Ronan's one of those people like it's like getting the COVID jab or something for me. I don't stay well away from that.
So, what else
End of Days, yes. I love End of Days.
End of Days.
Yeah.
Did you see the UK Blu-ray release of End of Days where they took
that artwork is horrendous?
Well, yeah, it's a photo from Last Action Hero.
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, you know I love Last Action Hero. So
yeah, there's not a single point in that movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger brandishes a Desert Eagle.
No.
There's a whole scene. There's a line where he says, "No, I think I'll prefer my Glock."
Underrated Arnie film. People shit on that film all the time. End of Days. But I love that film. See, we need to do an episode on Arnie films, not the recent ones. It's the good ones.
Stacey then said, "I'll ask some filmmakers you say overrated or underrated: Hal Ashby, Peter Yates, David Leitch, Ron Howard, Tom Holland, Tony Scott." I am a big Tony Scott. Yeah,
I actually prefer Tony Scott to Ridley Scott.
100% agree with you there.
Particularly with the track record he's at now.
So. Tom Holland has only really, for me, made two decent movies, which was Fright Night and Stephen King's The Langoliers. I wasn't fussed on the original Child's Play.
No, the second.
I don't think he directed. Did he direct that? Yeah, I think he did actually. David Leitch, I think, he's not the better. He's the better director of the two from the John Wick films. Ron Howard is always going to be an underrated director.
Yeah,
he's never, unfortunately, going to be in the same sort of held in the same regard as Spielberg, even though he's from the same sort of era. And
Ron Howard's got a lot of bangers in his back catalog.
He fucking does, man. And Peter Yates is the first director to ever shoot a car chase and not use rear projection, which was The Bullet Chase. Hal Ashby. I've only seen a couple of Hal Ashby films. I really liked Harold and Maude.
Yeah, I was about to say Harold and Maude was fantastic. Yeah. I like the last. Is it Last Detail?
Yes, with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I love that film.
I respectfully disagree, Tim. I really enjoyed Del Toro, except for Crimson Peak, and I thought Pacific Rim was a missed opportunity. Jim, no one asked for you. You're.
Hey,
I love Jim. Jim's amazing.
Del Toro's in the back of my mind at the moment, so I do apologize.
Stacey says, I agree with Tim 1,000% about Guillermo del Toro. Frankenstein is a 3 out of 10.
Oof.
Unfortunately, I have to run. We'll be back. I'll try and come back. If not, I'll definitely catch on the replay. Cheers for watching, Jim. I will see you tomorrow. Otherwise, have a good one, my man. We got a couple more comments, and we'll get back to the questions.
De Niro's Frankenstein is great.
Yeah. Stacey said, I prefer the De Niro Branagh Frankenstein. This new one was pretty bad and dark, hard to see properly, and if by design that is nice, but I didn't enjoy. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I had the same problem with weapons. When they're doing dark scenes, I can't fucking see anything. Turn the light on.
It's the AVP Requiem issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's dark. That's for Jim. Favorite between Body Double and Blowout?
Blowout.
Blowout.
Makes me cry every time.
And then you said, would you rather go on a dark ride for Ghostbusters or Poltergeist? Excited for Pedro and fun guest Timothy. And thanks.
Poltergeist. I mean, we need more horror rides.
I would never put Ghostbusters in the horror. It's like putting Casper in the horror genre. It's a kids film. I love Ghostbusters. Don't get me wrong.
And I love Casper too. But yeah, I get what you mean. That would be more like a shoot 'em up
every
kind
time.
of ride. Yeah, definitely.
And then Johnny Carrot. He's been subscribed to me for ages now. He's a great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy. He's the best guy. He's great.
Oh my god.
He says Arlington Road. I'm sure I saw it in the cinema many moons ago. It came out in 1998, I think it was.
Yeah. 98. So go back at that year and see how many bangers there are.
Oh, mate, the 90s was fantastic.
Yeah. There's a channel I watch regularly. I think it's called Classic Cinema Reels, and you just look at the reels from the 90s. It is literally banger, banger, bang. It's like one dud in about 6, and it's just literally like going to the cinema in the 90s must have been incredible.
I went to the cinema quite a lot in the 90s. I saw Spice World the movie.
Oh, I saw Spice World the movie.
Fucking awful film.
It was terrible. But if you like really bad movies, it's fun.
So, question number 6. Given your personal taste in movies, which I know what your personal taste in movies is.
It's always evolving, though.
What film is a guilty pleasure that people might not associate you with? And you're not allowed to say a Serbian film.
No, I will not say a Serbian film. I mean, I do like a Serbian film. I've never loved a Serbian film, but it's not a guilty pleasure. The Little Rascals.
Really?
Yeah, I love the Little Rascals.
Little Rascals.
Yeah.
That's a throwback to 1994, that is.
Yeah. I mean, that's not something you would associate with me, which is why I thought about it, because I've been putting all my DVDs in different black cabinets at the moment, and then I came across the Little Rascals the other day, and I thought, I used to watch that quite a lot. And she's a weird director, the woman that did it. I mean, she did this really cool film with what's his name? What's his name? Hot Shots dude. What's his name?
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen. I think it's called The Boys Next Door. That is an incredible film. Like, I don't know if you've ever got around to watching it, but it's one of those weird movies where you think it's going to be one thing, and then the more it goes on, it just shape shifts. And it's got, for me, it's his best film, like by a country mile. Fantastic performance. Yeah, The Boys Next Door. Definitely check that out. It's better than the first film she did, which is called Suburban.
Oh, Penelope Spheris.
Yeah. The Wayne's World director, right?
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah. Honestly, Boys Next Door must watch for anybody that likes like late 80s, like kind of crime stuff. It's great.
Yeah, she did Suburbia, Beverly Hillbillies, Decline of the Western Civilization, Part 2 or Part 1. Was it called The Boys Next Door?
Yeah, The Boys Next Door. I think it came out on 101 Films not too long ago in like one of those like special edition things. That's how I discovered it. And yeah, fantastic. There's a really good video essay on there by I think it's Stephen, what's his name? The guy who did Nightmare USA.
Oh yeah.
He's a little intro in it. It's fantastic.
So apparently the guys who wrote it, Glenn Morgan and James Wong, created Final Destination.
Yeah, James Wong, yeah, that's right.
And I don't even remember Jet Li's The One.
Yeah, oh no. I much prefer the Unleashed Jet Li than The One. I can't lie. That's
yeah, Unleashed was pretty good.
Yeah,
I had that on DVD as Danny the Dog, though, which was the original title.
Yeah, I actually prefer that title. I can't lie.
But then you got
that's how I discovered it.
And Bob.
Yeah, what a cast.
So Little Rascals. I thought you would have said Problem Child.
Nah, well, I've already thrown that one out there, so I have to
Yeah.
put another one out there. Although I do love Jumanji, the original, like that.
See, I remember seeing that in the cinema as well.
Yeah, say, but I had a bit of a chaotic experience when I saw it because I went to the toilet halfway through that film when I think it's just before the weird looking spider things come out, and I got locked in the toilet for about 25 minutes, and I couldn't get out. And it was a really traumatic experience. However, when I did rewatch the film, I love it. So yeah, the original Jumanji will always be better than whatever that abomination is that came out a few years ago with Jack Black.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the first one with Jack Black. I didn't bother with the second one, and I think there's a third one, isn't there? The
Yeah,
next level or something like
there
that.
should be one. Yeah,
Yeah.
a controversial opinion. I don't like Jack Black. Not for anything political or anything. I think he's just when you see a film with him in it, it's the same person all the time.
It's Jack Black playing Jack Black.
Yeah, I want to see him at least do something different, like maybe like in High Fidelity. Like there was
exactly.
shades of the Jack Black, but he was still an actor. Then.
That was like early 2000s, like when Tenacious D would not even massive in that era of time. I'd say for me, I'd say because like my preference when it comes to movies is always going to be like sci-fi, action, that type of thing. But I'm a huge Mighty Ducks fan.
Oh, Mighty Ducks, awesome.
So I'd say Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks is probably one of my biggest guilty pleasures.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I can't lie. I mean, again, it's one of those you can just pop on and just get. It's a comfort watch, isn't it? More so than anything.
It is.
It's like reconnecting with your friends.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks and The Heavyweights with Ben Stiller, which I think is a massively overlooked 90s Disney comedy.
Yeah. Although, actually, I've just thought of another one. Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Mate, I fucking love Beverly Hills
Cop 3. Beverly Hills Cop 3. I actually
everybody shits on it.
I love Beverly Hills Cop 3. The cool opening with the shootout. It's just like really nasty opening.
Uncle Dave.
You know, and then and just the idea of him being in like a theme park. I think they could have gone even further with it, but for what it is, I think it's fantastic. I do not get the hate for that film.
I think it's because
he wanted to be more serious.
Yeah, but it's still funnier than the second one.
Yeah, the second one's good, but
I love the second one because it's Tony Scott.
Exactly, but for me, the one I'll always go back to is 3. I don't know why.
I mean, for me, it's always the first one. I love the first one. That drops in and out of my top 5, depending on when I watch it.
Yeah.
But the third one, my favorite scene is where he comes out from when he's been down in the tunnels and he comes out on the stage, and he sees the people dancing on, like the characters dancing on the stage, and he starts.
Yeah, just
and then just
slides
off.
Walks back off. Yeah.
Man, what happened? What happened to Eddie Murphy?
I'm actually going through his film catalog right now, and the last film I saw of his was the Dolomite film, which I thought was actually pretty decent. If you like the Dolomite movies, there was a couple of like historically inaccurate things, like when they show you like the montage of the films they were making, they're showing elements of the human tornado which would have been after Dolomite, but whatever, I'm being a bit wanky there, but I kind of want him to go back to those kinds of movies, or just even go back to stuff like Metro. Like that's another
I love Metro as well.
Another one that goes right under the radar.
Absolutely great villain as well. Michael Wincott in that movie as a villain is always great, and Rappaport as well was pretty good in it. Carmen Igojo, man, she is still hot.
I mean, just again, I want more films like that from Eddie Murphy. Like, I don't know what it is. When he got trapped in the whole Nutty Professor stuff, it just.
I think it was because of how badly like the late 90s performed.
Yeah.
The stuff he did in the late 90s performed. It was.
I mean, Harlem Nights was trash, even though that was in the 80s.
Yeah, I've got Harlem Nights on DVD, but it's none one I ever really enjoyed. I think he kind of like Metro didn't do very well when it came out.
Yeah.
And what was
I don't think Vampire in Brooklyn did either.
No, that was
That was a Wes Craven flick.
Yeah, that was the one he did. That was the film he did before Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love Scream. But
Yeah.
Eddie, like, kind of, it was a weird point for Eddie Murphy. Like, he did Metro. Metro didn't really perform very well. So then the Nutty Professor comes out. Nutty Professor's massive. Then the Nutty Professor 2 came out and it didn't do as well.
No.
And then he
And
did.
he did Norbit.
Yeah, but before that, he did Bowfinger.
Yeah. Well, Bowfinger's a good little
Bowfinger's fantastic.
middle gap movie before he did
Yeah.
Norbit. You know?
Bowfinger's fantastic.
Yeah.
But then, like, he did Norbit, he did Pluto Nash,
Did Shrek
I
as well.
Spy, and there was like another film he did as well around the same time, which was massively flopped. And then he got his ass in his hand because he didn't win an Oscar for Dreamgirls,
which it wasn't a good film anyway. Like, another one of those hyped up movies that just didn't.
I mean, Jennifer Hudson was fantastic in it.
Yeah, of course. But again, for me, it's just one of those movies which it gets all the accolades and stuff, and then you watch it, you're like, it's all right. It's not as good as like the, that Tina Turner movie that came out a few years back.
What's Love got to do with it?
Yeah, that was. I know it's completely different, but I'd rather watch that.
So
I'd rather watch that than
Angela Bassett is great in anything.
Yeah. And so it's Larry Fishburne. I love me some Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne.
Yeah.
So
what an underrated actor that is.
Question number 7. Now this is where you get to choose to be a filmmaker.
Oh no.
A studio executive approaches you with an offer to remake a bad movie. Ooh. What are you choosing and why?
Oh no. Oh no. That's tough, man. I've seen so many bad movies. That's the problem. It's trying to pinpoint one which has got half a decent idea but executed shit. Oh. This is tough, man. I'm really stuck right now.
when I did a video when I went through the questions and I posted it a couple of days ago. And when I did it, for this answer, I said the movie Spawn.
Oh yeah, Spawn.
Because I think Spawn had a really great idea, but a very, very bad execution.
Yeah.
And it's a film that I always thought would benefit from a remake, but I would still keep Michael Jai White as Spawn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he's still in shape, he could still do it. So what I want to know is, what shit film would you remake?
Ooh. Well, I'm done with like superhero movies and stuff like.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see another, superhero movie for another 25 years at this point, because it's just fucking garbage. It's just one every other week. Batman and Robin is something. If I wasn't talking about superhero movies, I would probably choose, because it is an absolute atrocity, that movie. I would have to, if I think about this, it's going to have to be something horror related, I think.
Batman and Robin is a good choice. Because if you look at how Tim Burton set off that series of movies, it was like, maybe not so much the first one. It's a film that is based on the late 80s version of Batman. So the Dark Knight Rises, when Frank Miller took over. So it has that sort of like gothic edge to it, but then Batman Returns is like straight up Tim Burton.
Yeah, I love Batman Returns. I love Batman too, but the one I always go back to is Returns.
Yeah,
there's something really freaky about that film.
But Batman, those first two movies kind of set the tone of what modern Batman is.
Yeah.
And then Joel Schumacher comes on for Batman Forever, and he adds a little bit of color, but it still has that sort of same vibe as the Burton movies. But Batman and Robin is like Joel Schumacher was going, yeah, I kind of want to do something a little bit more campy, and then just decides to use the Adam West Batman TV series as a jumping off point for Batman and Robin, and just makes it fucking awful. And thank God George Clooney did that at the start of his movie career. Otherwise, if he'd done that now, that he would have been over.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we're talking about superheroes again. That second Joker film is, I mean, I know the Joker first one, a lot of people overhyped, but the decisions that film took shit on everything that was semi good about the first Joker film.
I didn't even like the first Joker film.
No, I know it is a divisive film, the first film, but one thing that people can't deny is the cinematography in that first film.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the music choices. I love Joaquin Phoenix's performance in it too, but to make a script so hateful of the people that liked the first film is unforgivable for me. I mean, you're insulting the people that put money in your pocket, and to waste everybody's time by saying, "Oh, this dude ain't the Joker anyway. Fuck this." It's a cop out. So you've actually invalidated everything that anybody invested in that film. So I actually think that the second Joker film is probably the better one to do, but it's one of those movies that would never ever get remade anyway, because the damage has been done to that brand now, as well as all of the DC projects that Warner Brothers have tried to do. I think they've shot themselves in the foot anyway, because they'll always be catching up to Disney with, you know, the success of the Marvel stuff. So they should have just gone in a radically different direction to begin with. And if they did go down the darker routes of some of those comic books, and just do like heavy 15, 18 rated comic book movies, I think they would have had a new niche. But what do I know?
I think with the Joker, I've seen half of the first Joker.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is no denying that it looks phenomenal and sounds phenomenal. However, I've seen Taxi Driver and I've seen King of Comedy.
King of Comedy, exactly.
I don't need to watch Joaquin Phoenix doing an impression of Robert De Niro in front of Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Although it is nice to see modern day Robert De Niro get shot in the head, because he is insufferable.
You get what you fucking deserve.
He is insufferable. It's sad because I love Robert De Niro, but the more he talks in the modern day, it makes me not want to watch any of his movies.
See, I can separate it, because one of my top 5 films of all time is Ronin, so I can easily
Bronx Tale for me.
Yeah, I could easily separate his politics from his movies. But I think the problem, what really put me off with even attempting to watch Joker 2 is the fact that it was not the fact that it's a musical, but the fact that it's a jukebox musical.
And
whereas
you're forgetting the key turn off point is Lady Gaga.
You see, I really liked A Star Is Born. I thought she was great in that.
Oh yeah, no disputing it, but for me she should not be.
And yeah, I kind of agree with you. I thought it was a very odd casting choice. But there's just like I don't need to see another Joker movie.
No, I don't think we need one anymore.
The Joker needs a standalone movie. When you've got like you've got Nicholson, you've got fucking Heath Ledger was incredible in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, no one's disputing that. Fantastic.
And then you've got Mark Hamill, who's done the Joker since 1992.
Who's probably the definitive Joker, really.
The definitive Joker. I don't need to see Joaquin Phoenix playing a version.
And he's very old as well, which kind of also makes it a bit suspect with the timeline. I mean, I think the thing that I'll always hate now is anything that I thought was genius in that first movie is now bad writing, because there's so many things in it that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
So that, like, there's a mixed race girl that lives in the apartment, and they have this annoying, unreliable narrator thing where I personally think she was fucking with his head all through the film. And actually, she could have made an interesting Harley Quinn by the fact that she was fucking with his head and all the rest of it. But then they 180 that because they think actually this guy is a wimp. He shouldn't be ideological or anything like that. Let's just have him be an incel. And I'm like, but the original Joker is not an incel. He's got a girl. You know what I mean? What are you fucking talking about? Like
the Crown Prince of Crime.
Exactly. I mean, he's got fucking Prince on the soundtrack, guys. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, so it's just this patch. Same with the recent Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson one. there's this patronizing elitist mentality when they're writing villains now and making them like these, I don't know, like people that no one would look a second glance at, and they're like people that live on the internet and are living in their mother's basements, kind of things. And I'm thinking, well, actually, if you look at things like The Cell and you look at the Silence of the Lambs, things like that, those characters are the ones that are terrifying. So I don't actually understand why you're provoking people if they are the ones that you hate in movies, because you're just gonna, what do I know anyway?
I don't think villains. I don't think we have proper villains anymore. We have
we gotta like them.
We have internet sort of true life crime people. So if you spend hours on YouTube watching true crime documentaries,
I used to fall asleep to some of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what these villains in movies. There's no actual villain anymore.
No.
Like the Dr. Evil type of villain. I think that's what's missing as well.
Yeah, I want another Freddy film, because he was the last, in my opinion, the last great villain.
Yeah, Freddy. I grabbed my Nightmare on Elm Street box set the other day. I was just like, shall I watch Nightmare on Elm Street or shall I watch something else? I ended up watching
Nightmare on Elm Street 2. That's the one I want to watch.
I ended up watching Cherry Falls instead.
Yeah, Cherry Falls is a good choice.
Cherry Falls is great. Cherry Falls, I think on the outside it looks like just another teen slasher movie from the 90s, but when you really watch it, it's a ridiculously funny parody of all those slasher tropes that had come before it. It's also a really funny sex comedy as well.
Yeah, I miss the days of sex comedies. You can't really do them anymore.
No,
not in the modern age, unless it meets a certain thing. Although I have heard, by the way, there's just gear shifting a minute, that Silent Night, Deadly Night's new remake is actually worth watching.
I saw the trailer for it the other day. I didn't like the original one.
I quite like the original one.
It was a bit like
cheap. It's very cheap.
Everyone hyped it. I mean, you remember back in the days on Cult Labs.
Oh, everybody was raving about it.
Everybody sucked the dick of that movie and fucking Sleepaway Camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching both of those, and I hated Silent Night, Deadly Night, because I bought the Arrow DVD when it came out.
Yeah, the one with the sort of sexualized artwork.
Yeah.
That they did. Yeah.
And then I bought the Anchor Bay triple box set of the Sleepaway Camp movies. I only watched the first one because I watched there was a documentary that was done about slasher films.
Yes, right.
It was called Go Into Pieces or something like that.
That's a good documentary.
It was a good documentary, and it was they showed the reveal from the end of Sleepaway Camp on that, and it kind of ruined the rest of the movie for me. So
it's just only poorly made slasher movie until that twist.
So I only really watched the first. I only watched the first film just so I can see the reveal at the end. But I'll tell you, the first film itself is so badly made.
Yeah,
it's almost verging on amateur.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Just shit. Shit.
But that's the thing with horror. You get those diamonds in the rough where there's promise, or you get very poor filmmaking and then one good idea.
Yeah.
And the one good idea is what makes it worthwhile. But for me, slasher movies are dying with a dozen. There's like 100 other ones you can think of at the top of your head that are better than that. I mean even
the slasher movie's got a decent sort of
the original Prom Night, for instance, got one of the best kills of all time.
Yeah, but it's a shame that movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, but that kills, you know what I'm talking about, right? On the stage. That was pretty good. So, what's that other? Terror Train was a good one as well. With
are you just naming Jamie Lee Curtis movies now?
Yeah, I've got a thing for Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think we all do, mate. We all do.
Yeah.
True Lies.
Yeah, True Light indeed. Or in my case, it was the Trading Places flick.
Trading Places.
Or Fish Called Wonder.
So I think with slasher movies, unless the movie itself has something different. Like I really like the original My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, that's a good film. I actually
like the idea of a miner with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Just taking people out in a mine. I think that's a really good. I didn't really care much for the remake, but I really like the original.
Was terrible. There's one good scene in the remake.
Yeah.
Just the motel room one. The rest of it sucked.
And obviously I like Friday. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Because Nightmare on Elm Street was the first slasher movie I ever saw.
Yeah,
I
well,
am not a fan of Friday the 13th. I like two of them. I like Friday the 13th Part 6, which is Jason Lives, and
yeah,
Jason Takes Manhattan. Oh, I like Jason Lives as well, but I like Jason Takes Manhattan because it's essentially just Jason on a boat for 90 minutes and
yeah.
then
See,
walking through
that
Toronto.
actually going back to your previous question. That's a film I would remake.
Jason Takes
That's
Manhattan.
yes, because the premise alone is a fantastic idea,
Mm,
but 60% of it is on a boat. Get
yeah.
rid of the boat stuff and have it straight in Manhattan. I
They
don't
should
care how he gets to Manhattan, just do
they
it
should have
straight away.
called it Jason Sails to Manhattan.
Yeah. Or that's why I think Predator 2, for instance, is the better of the two films because it's got a very interesting premise. Let's put this creature in, literally gang infested town, whatever. That's a great premise. Or even put Jason against a gang, or just something like that
Mm,
in New York. You've got a great idea for a film there, but the problem with the Friday the 13th movies is for every good one, there's about 6 shit ones.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, I always like the first one because I think the twist was brilliant, and it's a twist that you do not see coming. It's the problem with that movie. It's so left field that there's not really any plausibility for that to have happened. But whatever, it's a great twist. Four's got some great kills, and it's got that ridiculous dance sequence, which is great. I've always liked 5 because of how
I watched
stupid 5 is.
I watched a video yesterday about it was an interview with Crispin Glover talking about the
Ah,
dance.
Crispin Glover, man, what an actor!
Yeah, it was because I was watching about his lawsuit with the filmmakers who made Back to the Future.
Yeah, he went
What
against
happened
them,
with
didn't he? After the first one, yeah.
well, they used his likeness
That's right. Yeah,
and they made a mask of his face and they put on a different actor,
yep.
and that was before using likenesses was essentially copyright. And
Yeah.
because of that lawsuit, now using someone like the likeness of an actor or an actress has to be sort of allowed, and
Yeah, they
then
have to give the approval, innit?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's got no problems with Robert Zemeckis anymore. It's Bob Gale, the writer
Yeah.
and producer of Back to the Future, who he absolutely can't stand because of the illegal shit that he did with that.
Yeah,
But
of course.
like Crispin Glover is a very interesting actor.
Yeah.
He makes some very bizarre movies, but
Well,
he
he's a
also
very
shows
bizarre guy, but that's a
he's a
great
very
thing.
bizarre guy. This is true. So
Ain't
we
nothing
are.
wrong with being a bit weird. Look at David Lynch.
Don't get. I'm
I
not.
know you don't like David Lynch, but
Okay, so
can't deny Blue Velvet, the one mainstream banger outside of The Elephant Man.
I'd say Straight Story was probably one of his most
Yeah, but it's not
mainstream.
really a David Lynch film. Let's be honest. The real David Lynch film is Blue Velvet or Lost Highway.
Yeah. Question number 8. So this is I quite like this. I think a lot of people ask the same question in like these type of chats and stuff. So you're having a dinner party. Which 2 people from the world of cinema are you inviting as guests? They can be dead or alive. Like, I don't mean like you could have just like a corpse.
Just give random corpse of flipping Prince casually sitting up at the table now. Oh, do you know what? You've got to have someone like Dolomite at the table because you know
Ruby
he's
Ray.
gonna. Yeah, you got to have someone there to say outlandish shit. That's the one thing I would definitely have them as that. And I think the second one, I would want Stanley Kubrick there to tell me what happened with Eyes Wide Shut. Because that film, I've never liked that film, but I've heard it was badly tampered with, and I would want to know what was exercised from it.
What, like studio interference tampered or?
Well, apparently that it was just before he died that they just cut loads of bits out of the film.
Oh,
But
I didn't know that. I'm
yeah,
surprised at that being a Stanley Kubrick movie. You
yeah.
wouldn't
Well,
expect
it's
anyone to.
because again they went against these wishes. Well, they didn't go against these wishes with Clockwork Orange because he died technically, but they were quick to get that one out.
Well,
away.
that's because he pulled Clockwork Orange himself.
Threats, right?
And he had a clause in that film would never get
That's right.
released while he was alive. And when he died, it was just like, right, we're putting it out. 2000 now. It's been what?
That's still a hard film to
28
get
years.
through.
Yeah.
Same with Straw Dogs. Well, actually, to be fair, Sam Peckinpah would be a nice guest to have at the table. Or
He'd be
Charles
drunk.
Bronson.
Or Bronson and Sam Peckinpah at a dinner table. Man, there'd be some stories there, wouldn't there?
Or Oliver Reed as well. You know,
You
he'd be absolutely
just
sloshed.
inviting alcoholics.
Yeah, well, they're the ones that give the best stories, right? If you can understand what they're saying.
Well, yeah, I think because when I did this myself, I said Michael Caine, mainly because I've watched a lot of Michael Caine
brilliant
telling stories about his time with people like Richard Harris and Richard Burton and those quite well-known British actors, the Hellraisers of the 60s and the 70s. And I think that the stories that he would come out with would be absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, Michael Caine would be brilliant. I mean, just hearing that, my name is Michael Caine at the table. You know, but the actual Michael Caine saying it would just be brilliant. Yeah, what a legend. And I watched The Island recently for the first time, and I quite liked it. One of those movies he did just for the paycheck, and probably bought his mother's house with it. Who knows? But yeah, The Island was fun. I've kind of been going on a weird 70s thing at the moment with films that have happened to have David Warner in them.
There was a lot.
There was a lot.
There was a lot. David Warner was in everything.
Yeah, he was a great actor.
Didn't he lose his head in The Omen?
Yeah, the one of
with the glass pane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great actor he is, man. Oh, he was, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got to work with the guys at Inside Number 9 because he gave a really funny performance in that one that he did.
Which episode was that?
It's the witch trial one in season 2.
I can't remember. I can. There's only a few that I vaguely remember. I have to sit down and rewatch Inside Number 9. There was the one I remember the most was the one where it's a cubicle in a call center.
Oh, that's one of my favorite ones. I think it's called Cold Call.
Yeah, there's that one in the Christmas one with Sheridan Smith.
Yeah, that was fantastic as well. Yeah. I know that's the one that often people they hate that one apparently because you know it doesn't really accurately reflect the show. But that was fantastic writing. That hit me like a punch to the face the first time I watched that.
Thing is, the three of them have always even like I was never a fan of League of Gentlemen, but I understood like the comedy and the darkness of where that came from. When that came out, I was watching Spaced and Black Book.
Same.
So I never really got into that. But yeah, with things like Inside Number 9, like they have always kind of had their finger on the dark aspect of like cinema and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which I think is really interesting. I know there's a lot of people that really love Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Never seen it, but I know what you mean.
I saw 1 or 2 episodes. It was the first place I saw Richard Ayoade at. And I never like I understood what they were going for. It was like a throwback to like Dark Shadows and Doom Watch and stuff like that from the 70s.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get the comedy from it. I didn't find it that funny.
Yeah.
But
that's Channel 4. If every good one they've got, there are those ones that are a bit too quirky for my liking.
Yeah, I'd say
like stuff like Jam, you know, is a bit left field, but there's a couple of decent ones.
So you would choose Alcoholics and David Warner?
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds like a party.
Yeah. At least you know you're not going to get like bored easily at that kind of party.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although if you're teetotal,
oh yeah, you got to partake in a bit of the beverage too. Otherwise, they kick off with you.
That's the last thing you want. Sam Peckinpah throwing an empty whiskey bottle at you.
Yeah.
Drink,
at least maybe if we're bringing them back, we can slow down the time and add some of the kind of Sam Peckinpah slow time.
The Wild Bunch shootout.
Yeah, Wild Bunch kind of shootout. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Number 9. Question number 9. We've got 2 questions left now.
Okay.
If you could travel back in time and watch any movie for the first time on the big screen, what movie would you choose and why?
I mean, I would if I could do that, and there was a time machine, I would want to go back to the Grindhouse Cinemas in New York, 100%. I don't care if it was Fight for Your Life, if it was Shaolin Assassin, Shogun Assassin, sorry, anything from that time, but Deadly Weapons. Any Russ Meyer film, I couldn't give a fuck. Just I want to be in those Grindhouse Cinemas back then, just seeing those films for the first time.
Just taking a stroll down 42nd Street.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't even care if it's Emmanuel in America. Like, I literally just want to sit there with one of those audiences and be taken away. I mean, something like Cannibal Holocaust wouldn't be fun to watch in the cinema anyway. So you can't go for those kinds of Grindhouse cinemas.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You go for the more like
the more kind of outre silly kind of yeah.
Because, so
that
for me it would be watching Roger Corman movies on
100%
on these fucking dime screens. Just seeing things like the Day the World Ended or like Attack of the Killer Shrews and stuff like that, just in being projected on 35mm, but because they've been shipped around multiple different screens, they're now just damaged to fuck and missing reels and stuff
missing
like that.
reels out there. Yeah, exactly. Then if it's in color, it suddenly turns black and white because the actual material is broken now. I mean, to be fair, I would have loved to have seen the remake of The Blob in the 80s. That would have been fun to watch in a cinema.
That would have,
That is really underrated as well. I mean,
I kind of think like the 80s had, when it comes to like the remakes of classic 50s and 60s sci-fi, that had more of a twist on it. If you look at the ones that we had in the 80s, we had The Thing, which is, for me, it's possibly the greatest horror movie, sci-fi horror movie of all time.
It's still disturbing as well. Like the dog transformation is horrific.
It's definitely Carpenter's masterpiece by a long stretch. And then you get The Blob, and then you get The Fly.
Yeah, which again, what a triple bill that would be.
Exactly, that's it. That's why I think, The Blob would be a great one to see on the show. I would love to see The Thing for the first time on.
Yeah, not knowing anything about it either.
No, just going into it.
Never seen the original or anything. Just going straight into that.
Just going. Oh, it's from the director of Halloween, or it's from the director of Escape from New York. I was like, I'll give it a try. The guy made a film called Assault on Precinct 13.
Exactly.
I quite enjoyed that. I'll go and see this movie.
Yeah, and you just wouldn't know what hit you when you saw it.
Absolutely fucking floored by the visual effects that Rob Bottin did in that movie would be phenomenal.
But not even that, just those tense
the paranoia
of who is been infected here with this thing. Oh, like that bit where they're doing the testing of the blood is still one of the best scenes of all time. Like, incredible.
Yeah. But I like how that scene ends when they've got what's his name? But he's sat in the chair, and obviously the guy's turned into the thing. His head split open, and he's eating.
Is they're all still tied down technically?
He's still tied down. He's like, yes, I'd like to not be tied to this fucking chair. What
a film, man!
It is a fucking beast of a movie, and even the opening of that. As soon as Morricone's music, boom, boom. Boom, boom.
Incredible.
And you've just got the white of Alaska and the dog running and the Norwegians chasing them in the helicopter. Yeah, that film would
It's crazy to think, because when I hear that music, it's weird. I don't associate that with Morricone's. It feels more Carpenter than anything. But the fact that he adapted like that is crazy. He's got so many bangers in his back catalogue.
He does. The music that was used in The Hateful Eight was unused music for The Thing.
Yeah.
So if you watch the opening of Hateful Eight, where it's doing the whole 70mm, like big vistas, and you've got the music that's playing, that was unused music for The Thing.
Yeah.
And you can tell straight away.
Oh, 100%.
100%. But yeah, The Thing is an incredible movie. But I kind of agree with you. When I answered these myself, I said I would like to go back and watch. What was it? I said that I wanted to go back and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because I fucking adore that movie. Yeah. I thought that would be one that would, again, going in blind, not knowing anything about it, but knowing it's like the guy who made Jaws made it.
Yeah, it's the same with going to see an Indiana Jones movie for the first
time.
Like that. But they're the obvious ones to go to. It's those more.
That's what I mean. So I also said I was gonna stay away from Star Wars because everybody
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, if I
Well,
could go back in time."
the original Star, I would have loved to have seen the actual version of
The
Star Wars
theatrical
before it got
version of
tampered
Star
with.
Wars. Yeah.
Please, I
But
know
that's
BFI
what
had a copy of that at some point, like, but I don't know what happened with it.
I feel saying Star Wars though, I think that is a bit of a cop out because
It is a
everybody
cop
says
out.
Star Wars. But I really like your idea of going back to 42nd Street and just cinema hopping
Yeah.
from
Who gives a shit
exploitation movie
what's
to
on? Just
yeah,
you're gonna have a fun time,
yeah,
like, regardless what the film is. Even if
exploitation
it's
movie to
bad
exploitation.
dubbing or whatever, who
Just
cares?
some really like a fourth dupe of a Shaw Brothers movie.
Yeah, that's what really frustrated me when they got rid of that show. What was that show called by the guy who did The Wire, The Deuce? I mean,
Yeah.
to actually, I don't know, man. I thought those first two seasons, I never got around to seeing the third season, but that really encapsulated what it must have felt like being in that, and it felt like it was alive back then. Like it was really attention to detail. Whoever did the production design on that stuff they really well researched everything with that. It's fantastic, brilliant show.
I never got around to watching that. Is that the one which was
James
it
Franco double role.
James? Yeah.
That is the thing to put you off of it, but he's actually really good in it. I will give him his due. I'm not a fan of James Franco at all whatsoever.
No, me neither.
But
I
he
will.
actually,
If everyone else in it is as good, or if anyone else,
the supporting cast is incredible.
I might give it a try then if I can
you'll
find it.
you'll love it as well because when you've got Curtis Mayfield starting off as your main theme, you're in for a ball of a time.
Right, we got one question left. I'm just gonna do some comments, and then we'll do in the last one. The last question is not a difficult one; it's quite an easy one.
To be fair, there's been some really challenging questions, but in a good way.
This is my version of Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Right, where do we get to? Johnny. Johnny said, I saw Spice World with school peeps, all taking birds to it.
Yeah.
Then he said, Jack Black in School of Rock. Can skip the rest. I like School of Rock.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with School of Rock, although I do have a obsession with High Fidelity.
We have As Wilco 1997 says, hello, what's the discussion here today? Movies.
Yeah.
Then we got Johnny said, Child's Play first slasher. Parents let me see that before I saw Rugrats.
That's hilarious.
Rugrats on TV as a kid was waiting for Chucky pulling a knife.
I'd like to see that crossover.
I would like to see a dark, animated, violent Rugrats.
Yeah.
Virtual bathysphere.
Yeah, I'm not going there with that one. You can.
I saw your recent video recommending Delamore. Yes, excellent pick. Trippy watch though. It raises more questions than it answers. It does indeed, but it's fun. Thanks for watching, by the way. Johnny says League of Gentlemen is my thing.
Hey, nothing wrong with League of Gentlemen. We've still got to catch up on it or reassess it, I should say.
But then Small Town and I'm local. Then we had League of Gentlemen is hilarious, to be fair.
Mentioning this, I went to rewatch Ghost Stories recently in the theater, and in front of me, no joke, this was literally the same row. I had Terry Gilliam on the left, right, and on the right was Reese and what's his face from Inside Number 9. Both of them just sitting right there.
Steve,
not even a big deal. Yeah, Steve, just casually just sitting there.
That's mad.
Crazy.
Being in the presence of Terry Gilliam is like...
I couldn't believe it. I was sitting next to someone. I said, it's Terry Gilliam, right? And they're like, what? I was like, no, Terry right there. Like, I knew immediately because I've seen too much Terry Gilliam in my life. So
how many times have you seen Ghost Stories now?
It's got to be nearly 30 times, something like that. But I don't think it'll ever. It's kind of run its course now in the sense that the version that's on now, it's got none of the immersion. There's none of the stuff that comes off the stage or anything. It's just like a touring version. I was really disappointed, but it's still, it's still a great show, but it doesn't pat the punch that it did when it was at the West End.
Because Nyman's lost a shit ton of weight.
Yeah, well, isn't that Ozempic? I don't know.
Ozempic.
Yeah. Same with Tim Spall. Tim Spall looks dead.
Yeah, that's weird.
I thought he actually looked like a decent dude when he had a bit of weight around him, to be fair.
I think I watched a screening of King Kong 1930.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good choice. Or you
That
could
is a
watch a
good choice.
screening of King Kong 1979.
Yeah, that's good
Or
as well.
maybe not.
But it's a bit better than Peter Jackson's version.
Legal Gentleman was just like How It Is Living in My Town. We all loved it.
What town's that?
Johnny Scottish, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Either that or Train Spotting.
Virtual Bathysphere said the Thing probably wouldn't be great to watch as audiences didn't like it upon release. You want something with a great audience reaction if you're gonna go back in time. I mean, it would be great to watch because, like, I audiences didn't like it that much at the time, but it was released almost exactly at the same time as E.T.
Yeah, and that would immediately destroy everything.
Yeah, but the Thing, not knowing anything about it and going in blind, I think would blow my mind.
Could always see the Thing with two heads.
Fucking hell.
That's a good choice.
So, you ready for the last question?
Yeah, although I'm just going to put a spanner in your work. Another guilty pleasure, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Fuck me, I haven't seen that film in years.
Yeah, I did read they were doing a sequel. I hope they don't because it will.
I mean, Mira Sorvino's mid-50s and Lisa Kudrow's 62 now.
Yeah, I don't see the point,
but
really.
That film came out at a height when Friends was massive.
Yeah,
which was the biggest selling point of that film, and that was before Mira Sorvino got blacklisted because of Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
But I still maintain she was great in Replacement Killers.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that's another one of those John Woo movies before he did like Bulletproof Monk and stuff that gets put under the radar. Is it The Corruptor as well, Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, but I think he was only producer on those.
Yeah.
Antoine Fuqua did Replacement Killers. It was his first movie, and then he followed it up with fucking Training Day.
Yeah, that's a 1-2 punch if there ever was one.
I know.
Shame about some of the other choices he made.
King Arthur, not great. He made Tears of the Sun, which is really good with Bruce Willis.
That's a good film.
And he did the Equalizer movies.
Yeah, I think you forget if it's the one I think it is. I think you're forgetting the most. Oh no, I was thinking of someone else. Forget that. I was thinking about the guy that did the fucking Wicker Man remake. That's Neil LaBute.
Neil LaBute. Oh mate, he dropped off. He made like the start of his career was like he was like the indie kid.
Yeah.
And now he's like directing TV episodes of shit sci-fi shows.
It's like Van Helsing, fucking up. Why is there a television series of American Gigolo?
No idea. Because Paul Schrader needs money.
Yeah, Paul Schrader. I mean, I used to want to. I mean, he's got some bangers in his back catalogue as well. I mean,
for the last 3 years, he's made some shit.
Yeah, he has.
But then he had like First Reformed, and there was another one he did after it, like the card.
I didn't mind Dog Eat Dog or whatever it was called. I know that was Willem
Dog Eat Dog. I don't know what was going on at that point. I think it was he did that film with Nicolas Cage, where Nicolas Cage has Alzheimer's, but he's an FBI agent that got totally like stolen from him by Lionsgate, I think it was, and re-edited into something completely different to what he initially wanted it to be. And then he made the Canyons as well with
that was
Lohan, which is
that should have been good. That should have been like complete trash heaven, but it's awful.
It is an awful movie.
They should have given that to the guy that wrote American Psycho. Let him direct it.
But that was American Psycho. That was a woman, wasn't it?
No, I mean the writer, the actual.
Oh, Bret Easton Elliott.
Let him actually direct it. That might have been fun.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes novelists do make decent directors. I mean, The Exorcist 3 was directed by William Peter Blatty,
fantastic,
who wrote the novel.
Yeah, that was.
But then Stephen King directed Maximum Overdrive, which is fucking awful. So
less said about Stephen King, the better. Anyway,
question number 10, and I told you this is an easy one.
Yeah,
this isn't like the other questions, which are quite in-depthy type of things. Do you have any deep cut recommendations that people might not be aware of?
There is one that I'm going to type up now, if I can find it. I came across it recently. Just got to remember what it was. Something Harlem. What was it? It's one of those odd 90s movies that just kind of fall across the wayside. What is this called? This is going to annoy me. Something in Harlem. It's like a film noir flick with who's the guy who played Edie Amin? I can't think of his name.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. That's it. That's how I find this. I can't believe I'm having to go on Wikipedia.
I know
and
that
find
movie.
It. You know what I'm talking about?
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's just on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of what the fucking thing's called. Where's the filmography on this motherfucker? You are having a laugh. You go on, fucking bastards. You go on Forrest Whitaker and they only give you the directed films.
I think I know what one you're talking about.
Is it A Raid in Harlem or something like that?
Rage in Harlem.
That's the one. Yeah,
1991.
Yeah, that and there was a Denzel Washington movie called The Devil in Blue. I think it's The Devil in a Blue Dress.
Devil in the Blue Dress. Yeah,
Watch that
that's
as a
Easy
double
Rollins. That's a great movie. Carl Franklin directed that. That's a fantastic.
I'd love if that actually caught on and had like a little franchise. Like that was a great character.
Yeah.
Same with there's a character in the Jason Goes to Hell film with the guy that's going around trying to kill Jason. That character deserves his own film.
He did. It's called Jason Goes to Hell.
No.
No, I know the one you mean.
Yeah,
I know the one you mean. So, A Rage in Harlem was directed by Bill Duke.
I love Bill Duke.
Yeah, you know who Bill Duke
He also
is.
made Deep Cover, which is another underrated banger.
And he also eats green berets for breakfast.
He does eat green berets for breakfast, and he's very hungry.
Yes. That's got a cast in it. Jesus Christ. Forrest Whitaker, Gregory Hines, Robin Givens. My phone's been... I've got like 12% left on my phone.
No, I
came
across that recently, and that just one of those blind buys that you look at the artwork and you think, all right, this could be utter shit, or this could be fantastic. And I'd looked on IMDb and I was like, 5.9, this could be trash. I don't know what these people are smoking. This is a 7 at best. Like Danny Glover's fantastic in it as well. It's just one of those movies which I don't know if it just didn't find an audience, but it's just grabs you from the get-go. You know, really good, like kind of period. Like I wouldn't call it like an action movie, but it has action scenes in it, and they're pretty bloody as well, which is always good. And the cast is great. And one other banger, it's called Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Now, I came across this as well about 6 months ago, and I didn't know anything about it. I just popped it on, and my God, what a fantastic film this is. I don't know why, again, this film didn't do very well. If you like gangster movies, this is right up your alley. Great cast. If you know, it's one of those like blink and you miss it casts. So many famous faces in it. The music is great. You kind of feel like it's trying to aim for The Godfather. Doesn't quite reach that level. I don't really like Godfather films anyway, except for the first one. But this is a great watch. 100%. Definitely worth a watch.
Directed it by Leon Ichizo.
Yeah, that's the one.
What else did he direct?
Who no longer is with us.
No, he passed away.
Some Miami Vice work, I believe.
A lot of Spanish stuff and a lot of TV shows.
Yeah. Although he did do an episode of The Equalizer and Crime Story. Crime Story's good. That's a great show.
Well, that's some interesting recommendations. Sugar Hill and Rage in Harlem.
Yeah.
Any more deep cuts?
Depends. I mean, I love the 90s, so most of my stuff will always be the 90s. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the energy of the 90s that is just infectious when you watch it. You just kind of want to go back. Like a
Yeah.
lot of those times were, I mean, you had the best wrestling back then, not so much like the choreography side of it, but it was never as popular as it is now. Music was great. I mean, so many people started their careers in the 90s. And also, it's at the beginning of the Tartar Asia Extreme movement, Ringu. You know,
I was waiting. Like, it's taken 2 hours for you to bring up the fucking Tartan Asia Extreme.
yeah. Well, you know, I got to, you know, live up to some other degrees, but no, the Tartan Asia Extreme, that was my film school right there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm very well aware of this.
Yeah, I want Freezer to get a Blu-ray release, but I don't think
I
it'll
don't
ever
think
happen.
it ever will. If it does, it's going to be probably Japanese only, or
Yeah, exactly. But then that's why you go to Japan, right? That's why I got some
that's
of my
why you go to
Kitano
Japan.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So that's it. That's the 10 questions. You have answered them fantastic. It is just over 2 hours, which is great timing. I wanted to try and keep it to 2 hours or just over.
Usually it's 4 hours with us, so that was actually semi-good.
Oh, do you remember the podcast episode we did with Jill Kill on the 1980s? It was fucking
like
4
6
hours
hours
long.
long. Yeah,
It was
crazy.
so long.
But
It was
to be fair, it wasn't structured.
no, it wasn't. It was like there was 4 of us on it. It was me, you, Sean, and Jill.
Yeah.
And we all chose 10. There was 40 fucking movies.
Yeah, let's see what happened to her, because I think she went into telly.
Yeah, she produced The Stand.
Yeah,
I'm still following her on Facebook. She's been faffing about with all that Sora AI shit.
Oh, she's actually. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
The Stand. Was that the one with Whoopi Goldberg? One
yes, Whoopi Goldberg played Mother Abigail in that version. It was not as good as the 1994 version, but it was okay. But she was one of the staff writers and a producer on it.
Oh yeah, I can see her name right there at the top.
Yeah.
I honestly, she's one of those people that just like disappeared, or at least on my side of social media.
I stayed following her because I was following. She did Prank Squad or something with Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah, I remember her mentioning that.
Yeah, which didn't last. But it was like a hood jackass, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, those guys from that collective, same with Frank Ocean, they go from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
So.
That was before Tyler the Creator blew up, though, music-wise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's untouchable now.
Yeah.
I'm on her website now. Wow, she's actually got a film coming out.
Does she?
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Death, and also Gold Digger.
She's doing well then.
Yeah, she's doing pretty well then.
But she is in LA, so.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, we did that podcast. What must be 7-8 years ago now. Probably even longer.
I think it might have even been longer, to be honest with you.
So she's been plugging away, but she's been plugging away in the right place.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So this person that she's working with was in that movie you mentioned by Sean Baker, that Honora film. It's a woman called Lindsay Normington or something. And another guy called Ben Peter. Okay. I'll have to send you this after.
Yeah. I gotta try and get Sean on here as well.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
I know. Too busy putting his suit and driving around in his fucking Mercs.
Is he still doing that?
Yeah, of course he is.
Look, we very rarely speak these days, other than when I'm sending stuff to him. So anyway, we will digress and do this another time.
So Timothy James Porter, thank you very much for being my first guest on Movie Mind. We got inside your mind as a movie fan, a cinephile, and it's been
not a pedophile.
Not a pedophile, no. And it's been an interesting insight into what made you a film fan from your early days as an obsessive problem child fan.
Yes,
100%. To your Tartan Asia Extreme Film School it's been an interesting insight. And yeah, thank you very much for
Yeah, no
coming
problem.
on to this and having a chat. We've had not the biggest audience, but it is a first episode, and
Exactly.
this will probably get a lot more rewatches back once it's on YouTube. But thank you very much for joining me tonight. And my name is Pedro. This is Pedro's Movie Cavern. This is Movie Mind, and with Tim. And I want to wish everyone a great weekend. Well, I hope you had a great weekend. As usual, I'll give you a salute, throw up the peace sign, and I'll tell you that we are out. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you all soon. Bye.
Bye. You should get Jill to do one.